first I'd like to begin by thanking Fatima for inviting me. It's really a wonderful occasion. I think it's a very beautiful setting, and it's a very important book. We have many passionate people passionate about food in Goa, various aspects of food. But I think what Fatima brings to it is she's a first-class scholar, and she's also really worked hard and traveled to see the different roots of our cuisine, this Cozinha de Goa, which people refer to as traditional, but it's actually, in some ways, it's a tradition which has come together from all different parts of the world. So, congratulations, Fatima, and thank you for inviting me. I think basically, I'm supposed to talk about the future of Goan food, but thinking about Goan food, I think that the distinguishing characteristic certainly comes across in Fatima's book, is that it's a profoundly globalized cuisine, both in terms of its ingredients, which have literally come from every corner of the world, our traditional food, as well as techniques. The techniques have come in from various parts of the world. We use South Asian techniques naturally, but we also use Southeast Asian and African techniques. And through the cuisine, really, even in the ingredients or on the dishes that might make up a grand family meal, in either a Hindu or a Catholic family, you will find traces of Portugal, but also the Spice Islands, sometimes even Africa. And then the New World comes into it with a whole bunch of new ingredients, potato, chili, tomato, these all are corn. And also you have a Chinese influence which comes in from Macau. And when you think about our specific dishes, we talk about, it's quite interesting, we talk about what is traditional Goan food. And just some of the dishes, the shakuti seems to, for instance, have Muslim roots at some level. Our sorpatel almost certainly is a slave version of a European traditional dish which we've made our own. Kaju feni, our essential Goan spirit, is born from a Brazilian fruit. And in fact, the word kaju, which is so dear to us, the word kaju itself comes from the Tupi language in Brazil, and it's akaju, and it's the same with many other fruits and products that we use. I think this openness to new things isn't exclusively a Goan thing, though I'd like to believe we're especially open. I think it's an Indian thing in general, because the cuisine all over India has adapted repeatedly, and I also think it's a particularly important characteristic, or an apparent characteristic, of the west coast of India, which has particularly been seen back and forth trade for centuries and even thousands of years. But it is true, I'll join the Goans on the panel in kind of taking some pride in this food, because culinarily speaking, Goans have continued to roll with the times. What is the most special food to us, the most traditional food in some ways, the most characteristic indicative food of a place, very often has got new roots. Today, for instance, I was very happy to see that we're eating we were eating mushroom samosas from Café Central. Now, Café Central has been around for 100 years. This is probably its most famous dish. If you go in when the mushroom samosas are hot, I mean, you better be ready to fight for your way to the front and fight your way out. But the mushroom samosa, this central kind of important taste of Panjam, was invented only 20 years ago or 25 years ago. And it's the same Café Central, which has been around for 100 years. Probably 10% of its income, I remember sometime Mr. Gaitonde told me, maybe 15% of its income comes from the onion biscuit. The onion biscuit also is a modern invention. They invented it maybe 15 years ago, and it's become something that has become, people take it from Panjam and take it away from here, and it's become a taste of Panjam. Today probably is a good time to also mention that the Café Central is not the only place. I noticed Vincent, my friend Vincent, who works here, he's also invented a great cookie, which is the cashew nut chocolate chip cookie, which is a very fine cookie. And also, I have to admit some partiality to the chocolate-covered Mari biscuit, which was also invented by Gracias. So I bet 20 years from now, the chocolate-covered Mari biscuit will still be a Panjam kind of a hit. Which brings us kind of to today. I think that Goa is lucky because like we did 450 years ago, 500 years ago, and perhaps even earlier, we've hit the global historical culinary jackpot kind of again, because the state is home to an extraordinarily diverse restaurant landscape. And many of these really are very fine quality. It's quite amazing what you can find in Goa, from truly superb Catalan food made by my friend Danny down in Palolem, or Thalassa, which this year possibly is one of India's best restaurants. It's just a wonderful place, making amazing food which you can't believe has been created in Goa. But the best example is possibly Bomra's, which Amitabh has helped put on the national map. Bomra is a genius chef who is a Kachin, who comes to Goa and he walks into the same marketplace that you and I walk into, and he looks at the same ingredients, and he comes out and gathers those ingredients and creates a cuisine which is just eye-popping, startling, brilliant. Amitabh has referred to it as maybe the best Burmese restaurant in the world. But those kinds of comments have now become common for Bomra. Just last week, might like to look this up, one of India's leading critics, Nilanjana Roy, came to Goa and she wrote a love letter to Bomra's, in which she basically says it's much better than any restaurant in Delhi, and that she envies people who live in Goa because they can go to Bomra's now and then, and Bomra's is worth just flying here. So we're home to a culinary landscape that's still adapting, that's still creating something quite remarkable in the subcontinental sphere. And I think that that's something we should all be kind of recognize and be grateful for. Which brings us again to the future of Goan food, which is my topic. I think that the future of Goan food will undoubtedly see more of the same. We've seen profound adaptability and openness to new ingredients, and I think you're seeing it right now. It's really, really exciting to experience the artisanal food revolution that is taking place in Goa. There are many signs of this. In Goa, we've always placed great premium. I go to the market almost every morning, and all the vegetables which are gaunti, the local vegetables, you pay a little extra for, because Goans prize what is made here, what is from our own soil. And I think now, the definition of that can change. One of the reasons I'm happy when I come back to Goa from other parts of India is that I know my friend Brendan Barr, this British butcher, is making these amazing sausages and bacon, and the best you can possibly get in India, and he's here in Arpara, and that's something that's a kind of a specialty of Goa. And today Goa also means these fantastic artisanal fresh cheeses made in Siolim and in Vagator by Italians and by Russians. You can get a smoked mozzarella made by a Georgian woman, which I particularly like. Then you have my friend Lisa Camps's legacy of Bean Me Up, where she makes this is the best vegan food, and in fact exports tofu around the rest of the country. That's something Goa has become known for. And it continues. You have Klaus Brett, who is this phenomenal patissier who works in Dona Paula. So I think that this is what Goan food is, actually. Goan food, we should not mourn the passing of a food which in any case came together. The food is adapting. The cuisine de Goa has got its very proud adherents who will never let it pass. We eat it, at Vashkeet's restaurant. I have not eaten his grandmother's Seradura, but Vashkeet's is pretty damn good. So I think that the future, this culinary area is one area in which globalization has been good for Goa. The changes have brought us great riches, and I think we should look at it that way. Thank you.